Hey there, gang. Patrick King here, coming to you live from Cazenovia, New York, teaching here the next couple days at Canterbury Stables right here in Cazenovia. Today's question comes to us from Sarah, and Sarah asks, I have a question on desensitizing to sounds. I try to be creative with different objects that make funny sounds when working with my horse. I use pressure and release to keep him calm and eventually accept the funny object touching him. While I have great results in our arena, if he bumps into a plastic bag casually walking through the barn, he still spooks. Any ideas on how I can take the lessons from the arena and apply them to our day-to-day life? And I should clarify that a spook isn't just a simple hop out of the way. I've been knocked down, etc. It's a bit much. So this is a rather creative question, I guess. So the idea of desensitizing to different sounds and how do I take it outside of the arena, the first thing I would say is our horsemanship doesn't start and end in the arena. Our horsemanship starts when we think about our horses, right? And it ends, well, I don't know, when they bury us in a coffin. I don't think that our horsemanship ever really has an end to it. So when we're talking about taking our lessons out of the arena, I think it's really important to consider the fact that your horsemanship is your day-to-day life with your horse. There are certain exercises maybe that you might only do in the arena. I don't know, I can't really think of what those would be because I could apply as many of them on the trail or between the stall and the paddock or the stall and the arena. So it's really important that we're always thinking that our training doesn't just happen in an arena. Our training is always, right? Training is every moment that you're with your horse, whether we like it or not, whether it's positive or negative. We're training our horse every moment that we're around them. So what I want to think about then with Sarah's question with the scary noises, I would just have them happening a lot more often. To me, it almost sounds like too simple of an answer, I guess. But, so if the horse, as she mentioned, is a little bit afraid of the idea of plastic bags bumping him, well, maybe I might put a plastic bag in my grooming tote, right? Well, you go out and you buy a new brush for your horse. You wouldn't expect him to be afraid of a new brush, and you probably wouldn't accept that, right? So maybe I'd add a plastic garbage bag or something as one of my new brushes, right? And I'd say, hey, this is what we groom you with today. Maybe I might have it in my pocket and leading him from the paddock to the stall or from the paddock to the arena. Maybe I might pull it out and start brushing him with it. Kind of letting him always think, hey, the whole world, every moment is a training situation. We need to look at it that way. Our horses will certainly understand it that way because it's how they live, right? That, to me, that's a fairly easy question. Other little things that I like to do, I like to give myself a little task while I'm leading my horse with the tail end of my lead rope. I might be walking along and kind of cracking it on the ground, seeing if I can't hit a specific rock, that's out there in front of me on my path. It looks like I'm just sort of dinking around while I'm walking and leading my horse, but the reality is, that's going to get him used to little sounds and noises like that. It almost sounds like a whip cracking whenever I hit the ground, hit a leaf or a blade of grass or something like that. Some horses might overreact to that to begin with, but pretty quick they just get to thinking there's some crazy guy on the end of the lead rope and I just better be okay with silly stuff that he does. As far as the idea of her being knocked down and knocked out of the way, to me this is much less about desensitizing our horse in that moment and maybe more about sensitizing him to our presence or kind of the rules of the game, so to speak, as far as the handler's concerned. I kind of have a rule when I'm leading most horses that their nose really isn't allowed to step up in front of my shoulder unless it's invited. That in itself, when I stick with that, pretty much keeps a horse from running over the top of me. So maybe that's something that we need to address with our horse. How well is he actually leading? How well does he do with our basic groundwork in every situation, right? Because maybe it's not when we're in the arena, like we said. We've got to use the whole world at our disposal. Maybe it's when we're on our way to the arena, or maybe it's when we're in the stall with him. There's lots of different situations where we would need to readdress that. So as far as the horse knocking us down because he's scared of a noise or anything for that matter, I don't care if it's a lion jumping out of the bushes. The horse sure isn't allowed to knock me down, even if that happens. So I would always be checking in with these tasks. So Sarah, I hope that's helpful for your question, and I hope that might be helpful to anybody else who's got a horse that might have this problem of being overly sensitive to noises or different situations or scary things. Just always be treating the world as a training situation. I think that's probably the best and simplest way to say that, to help solve that problem. So if this has been helpful to you, please leave us a comment or a like in the comment section down here below. If you've got some friends that maybe need to hear this advice, please either tag them directly in the comment section or share this video with them. We would really appreciate that. And who knows, their horses might end up thanking you for that. So, question of the day today is going to be sparked by Sarah's question. What is it that particularly spooks your horse on a continuous basis? Is it a scary noise? Is it a specific object? What scares your horse? I'd like to hear the answers to that in the comments section below in this video. Thank you so much, gang. Please, please, please remember, keep submitting your questions. You can ask me your questions in the comments section here. You can send us a message directly. You keep asking your questions, and I'll keep talking about horses. Thanks, gang.